who welcome you here to Storm Lake, Iowa. It's 7-3 as we are here through set one with Storm Lake already off to a good start. Now starting to give some ground back to Woodbury Central. We welcome them in here. The Wildcats 0-16 on the season to the Panthers' 2-11 record. One of the two wins for Storm Lake St. Mary's against Woodbury Central, as here we are in set number one. A tight contest continues. Teed up, center, down into the middle of the floor. Nice scoop by the Wildcats at the wall for Hurd. Dumps it over by Hurd. She uses that length to dip it over and in. Panthers on the offensive attack still. Wildcats recovering. Overshot on the misplacement. Emma Lambert couldn't locate it on the floor. 9-4, Storm Lake St. Mary's in set number one. Welcoming you again here to the Panther Pit, Parker Webster, for this Storm Lake St. Mary's and Woodbury Central contest here on Fuller Digital Solutions. Dumped over by the Wildcats. After a line violation, we'll give this back over to the Panthers. Pasquale with a nice strike. Dumping it over again and causing trouble is Pasquale. She's able to help get that kill gone onto the board for the Panthers here, as that's another nice back-to-back plays for her on the offensive attack. So now she resumes her position back into the center circle. Up at the net, the Wildcats strike back. Not going to let a lot get away from them. 10-6 here in set number one. Back to the line we go, and sent away is Maddie Lloyd, the server. Lloyd takes it back. Now Utesh. Not enough strength. Has it fall into the net for another Panther point. Lloyd for Archer. There's Bacon fighting through a wall and getting it in. Neely Bacon gets on the board. Freshman outside hitter who's had a good amount of experience to this point in the season. She continues her campaign, trying to climb back up and get some needed points for the Storm Lake team that starts way below in the conference. Tonight, that's not going to be the case, though, as they have a nice hot start. The timeout going to be taken by the Wildcats. Storm Lake St. Mary's off to a comfortable 7-point lead in set number one.
Did you know it's easier than ever to find the live stream for your team? Now at FullerDigital.net. No more searching. One place for all your live streams. FullerDigital.net. Home and away. If we're covering your team, the live stream videos are at FullerDigital.net. Just click on your school and you'll find the stream. Thank you for viewing the FDS live streams, and thank you for sharing it with your friends and family so they can find the games too. FullerDigital.net.
And we welcome you back here to Storm Lake, Iowa. The Panthers and Wildcats retake the floor after they have a good start with a comfortable 7-point lead in set number one. Gets underway by number 5, Avery Smith, from the service line. Hurd to Green. Seniors help each other out and get a point on after the timeout. Had some early technical difficulties here on Fuller Digital. That was the delay, at least for the audio purposes, but back underway we are nonetheless to continue bringing you bringing the action as the Panthers will bring the action still to the Wildcats as they are dishing it all to them with a 9-point lead now in set number 1, 15-6, ahead comfortably to the 0-16 Wildcats. Lloyd running on, will not let that one get, or rather will fall short of the mark for attempting to get on to that. As we take a look back at some of the matchups of all time, the last one taking back to September 10th, where Storm Lake St. Mary's got a 2-0 win as they have owned this series, a 4-1 record all time between these two teams, all the Panthers. Bacon. Green Pasquale shoots one into a wall put up by Paige Glacken. Skipped over and still will sneak in. Hurd doesn't attempt to go for it, but the Wildcats will catch a break, 17-8. They win the possession back over. Jenna Whitman goes back to the service line, has 7 aces on the season. As the Wildcats hurt themselves in this stance and will have this go back over to the Panthers with a 10-point deficit. Back to the junior. To the freshman. Wildcats recover on their toes. Bacon, too quick on the jump. Ends up hurting her in the end. 19-8 now. Rather, they'll say it was over the net for the Wildcats to have that extra contact. We'll keep this here with the Panthers. So in the end, still, the Panthers have a nice roll through on this with an 11-point lead in set number 1. They struggled all of last week, unable to get a win, as they also fell short in that triangular they hosted just a week ago, last Thursday. Not able to add anything to their record, as here tonight, looking to be a different story with a 20-8 lead. Center, Hurd, tried to dump it over. Nearly had enough leverage to escape it over the top of the net. Just catches that top bar. Her from the point, through the wall and down. Efficient on her part to be able to add another kill on the night. And then Hurd is given a taste of her own medicine, dished by number 9, Maddie Lloyd, a junior for the Wildcats. Keeping it here within reach of a 10-point game as the Panthers close in on a set 1 victory. Natalie Green has this fall over to the lobby on the far side. 21-12 score. Right into a net. Wildcats working on the offensive side, but off-balanced. Number 12, Sindel Blyle, the junior outside hitter, directs this into the Panthers side of the scoreboard. Dumped over. A cheeky play by Natalie Green, the experienced captain for this team, able to get on the board. She goes back to work from the service line now. And the wild heat from the ball causes all sorts of chaos for the Wildcats. Now here we are with set point, 24-12. Dug up by Hurd. Green tips it up for Hurd. Chased down. At the net. Hurd couldn't get all behind it. Has it slipped through her fingertips. And will go to keep this set going. Brooke Klingel-Smith starts it off. Center. Archer. Hurd falling backwards, has it roll off of her fingers. Set number one goes to the Storm Lake St. Mary's Panthers. Their first set one win in quite some time as they lead 1-0 here from the Panther Pit.
You may think shopping locally is more expensive, but have you ever compared prices? Oftentimes you can find just as competitive or better price points by shopping at a local store. Snooks Carpet and Furniture of Sioux Rapids has everyday competitive pricing. Shop local in the new year for all your flooring, home furnishing, furniture, and just-in modern bedroom sets from Malou.
The original Snooks Carpet and Furniture in Sioux Rapids. On your way anyway. Visit us on Facebook or at snooks1.com.
Is your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality health care, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
And Fuller Digital Solutions would like to thank the Buena Vista Regional Medical Center for this interval change as one of our sponsors for this evening. As we get set for set number two from the Panther Pit, Parker Webster here sitting high atop here in Storm Lake, Iowa's lovely press box they provided us access to here once again as the Panthers trot back out onto the floor confident with a 1-0 record in the match to this point. As Katie Steffen's crew will jog back out to the floor as we take a look and again still welcome the Woodbury Central Wildcats here, taking a look at them where they stand in the Western Valley Conference. They're at the bottom, 0-16 on the season, have yet to get a win as they sit behind MVAO COU, who are 3-13, second to last, and the top of the conference, one of our teams here around the area, not too far, that being the Ridgeview Raptors, a 19-3 season, is the separator to put the Wildcats in at the bottom as they start off with some efficient offense to get on the board first, having to wait the retrieval of the volleyball to get us back and going. As here we are starting it off again, Caitlin Archer puts it over. Green, Pasquale into a wall, nothing there. Sindel Blyle was one of the two in on the block. Panthers can't control the heat from the Wildcats, 3-0. So after a confident start, having a 7-point lead at one point, that eventually increased to a 10-point lead in the first set. Now they find themselves trailing 3-0, something last week that was evident in each one of their matches. Had a slow start, couldn't get out in front, found themselves fighting closer than they were in the first two sets when all was just about over in the third set of each match last week. Hoping to change that, of course, here tonight, as they already have started off 1-0 to a team they've topped 2-0 this season. And a net fault is called on the Panthers, gives it right back over to the Wildcats, who are still shutting out the Panthers to this point, 5-0. Richardson to Green for Hurd, dumped over. Skipping over Panthers and hitting into the floor. Blyle gets on to now increase the score to 6. Would not be shocked if head coach Denny Adams would be looking for a timeout here soon. In fact, that'd be Ryan Berg, who's still filling in tonight. After the ball is overshot by the Wildcats, gives the Panthers their first break of the second set. 1-6 now. Out of position off the out of control pass over by the Wildcats. Let's Pasquale continue to work from the service line. Blacken, center. Lloyd, up in the middle. Now Green. Back and forth between the seniors. Hurd to finish it. Kept up. And the Wildcats eventually tire out for the Panthers to cut it in half, 3-6 in set number 2. And a stoppage here. I believe the official was calling for the lineup at the center circle to be adjusted. Panthers at least got another shot at it now here with a 4-6 score in the second set, climbing their way back up, having the lead 1-0. Storm Lake St. Mary's again finds their way back to continue to climb their way up. 5-7, set number 2. They bring the ball back over for Neely Bacon to get things going. A freshman to many seniors on the floor with this Wildcat team, make that 5. As for the Storm Lake St. Mary's, something that I'm sure they would at least appreciate more is having some of that veteranship with them on the floor today. A younger team to this veteran team that has yet to find their first win of the season, with the Panthers getting some help by the miscommunication on the Wildcats' right side of the floor. Maddie Lloyd buries it into the floor with Neely Bacon diving for it. Back to 6-8 now. Storm Lake St. Mary's has been all but chasing in set number 2, with Hurd starting the campaign to get back on top. Piercing through the middle of the floor, getting it now 7-8 in set 2. Avery Smith subs in for the Panthers. Green, and miscommunication for the Wildcats has us tied back up at 8. A little bit of who's got it, you got it, I thought. Miscommunication all around as everybody stared at one another, wondering why that ball hit the floor. Hurd with a hard right hand. Back at it again, carving him up and putting it down. Sydney Hurd. Sydney Hurd, 58 kills on the season, contributes to the 152 total for this team. She added a couple here tonight, 9-8 in set number 2, make that 10-8 after the scoring play for the Panthers. Katie Steffen having a word with the official. Barely kept up by a Wildcat. Dipped over. Panthers on the attack. Hurd gives him too much to handle. Chased down by Green. Now Hurd for Lloyd to the back line. Not enough mustard on the passover by Kaylee Utesh. Panthers making a strong case for the win on their home floor tonight, with the Wildcats giving it right to them. Sending Natalie Green back to the service line, but first a quick intermission as the Panthers on the prowl for a 2-0 lead.
Did you know it's easier than ever to find the live stream for your team? Now at FullerDigital.net. No more searching, one place for all your live streams. FullerDigital.net. Home and away, if we're covering your team, the live stream videos are at FullerDigital.net. Just click on your school and you'll find the stream. Thank you for viewing the FDS live streams, and thank you for sharing it with your friends and family so they can find the games too. FullerDigital.net.
Out of the timeout, we have number 12, Sindel Blyle, the junior, getting the first score since the stoppage. 14-8 is our score in set number 2 with a 1-0 Storm Lake St. Mary's lead as we get things back underway with the Panthers continuing to work on offense. Near collision, leaves out number 12, Sindel Blyle, out to dry, had no help. But have a ball that had an awkward spin into the floor. 15-8. Green with the 13 aces she brings to the service line, gets us back underway. Hurd found the space, but not enough to keep it inbounds. Falls out into the lobby, be another point, 15-9. And a mental error will go for the Woodbury Central Wildcats after Avery Smith couldn't get the handle right. Sindel Blyle, one of the leaders, in fact, the team leader that is in service aces for this team, not having at least much success tonight. 18 service aces on the year and a couple of errors. She's been 86% efficient tonight, though. That's been a little bit of a different story. Cannot seem to find a comfortable strike from the back line. Off-balance shot by the senior. Chased down, kept up. Pasquale, Green, back to Pasquale. Skipped over the wall and down, 17-10. The largest lead for the Storm Lake St. Mary's Panthers in set 2. Substitution, they bring take off Paige Glacken and will bring on number 8, Brooke Klingensmith. Nice attempt by Lloyd to keep that alive and will bode well for the Wildcats. Turn nothing into something, cutting it down to 5. They had an early 5-0 lead in the start of set number 2. Let's see if they try to climb back to tie this up 1 apiece. High arcing ball from center brings us back underway. Green. Bacon. And Lloyd trying to turn it back the other direction. Instead goes for Archer at her feet as she's unable to dive down and be able to get that one to stay up and alive. We'll have the Panthers creep closer to being inside of 20 points. So it's 19-13. We take a look here again, the Twin Lakes Conference for the Storm Lake St. Mary's Panthers. They're just ahead GTRA, a couple of games. The second opponent they've defeated this season, on top of course, their opponent they're playing currently, the Woodbury Central Wildcats, in a 2-11 record. They have yet to win at home, so this would be a big one for them. With a season that's gone the opposite direction of where they would want it to be. 19-15. Woodbury Central starting to make a good climb back up to get ahead. Service from Woodman. Green dumps over. Chasing it down is Blyle, and she cannot control it. Falls outside the point. 5 crucial points. Starts off with number 5, Avery Smith. Widman, Pasquale. Athletic move by Pasquale keeps this going. Up at the wall, Bacon, Pasquale again. Oh, he could not finish it. Green thought about intervening, but was too late. Great efforts by Bacon and Pasquale. Unfortunately, don't turn into plus points for the Panthers. Wrong direction by Widman, the freshman. Send Pasquale to start paying off for the hard work after that previous point they gave up. There it is again, the Panthers creeping closer to 25 points. Pasquale, 21 service aces on the season. Put some authority behind this one. That will fall out and will not let them be able to continue their climb and control this final part of the set. 22-17, a substitution for the Wildcats. As motion, Brooke Klingon-Smith back to the service line. A creative spin for the volleyball has it go awkwardly off of Pasquale's forearms. 22-18. Wildcats back against the wall. Panthers just need to get to the finish line. Hurd right into a Wildcat. That's Klingon-Smith. The strength of the dump over works well for the Panthers. 2 points away. Lloyd right to Hurd's hands. The 6'3 Panther doesn't allow anything over the net easy. 24-18 to go up by 2 sets. Hurd with a heavy right hand. Center. Wildcats catch a break. No, they don't. Illegal block called at the net by the umpires gives the Panthers a 2-0 lead. Rolling ahead, full head of steam to their first win at home.
You may think shopping locally is more expensive, but have you ever compared prices? Oftentimes you can find just as competitive or better price points by shopping at a local store. Snooks Carpet and Furniture of Sioux Rapids has everyday competitive pricing. Shop local in the new year for all your flooring, home furnishing, furniture, and just-in modern bedroom sets from Malou.
The original Snooks Carpet and Furniture in Sioux Rapids. On your way anyway. Visit us on Facebook or at snooks1.com.
And Fuller Digital Solutions would once again like to thank Buena Vista Regional Medical Center for tonight, sponsoring our interval change as the Storm Lake St. Mary's Panthers up comfortably 2-0 against the Woodbury Central Wildcats. They are on the prowl to their first win at home. We can see if they close it out after this here on Fuller Digital Solutions.
Is your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality healthcare, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
Did you know it's easier than ever to find the live stream for your team? Now at FullerDigital.net. No more searching. One place for all your live streams. FullerDigital.net. Home and away. If we're covering your team, the live stream videos are at FullerDigital.net. Just click on your school and you'll find the stream. Thank you for viewing the FDS live streams, and thank you for sharing it with your friends and family so they can find the games too. FullerDigital.net.
Well, it's a chances of first. Of course, the Woodbury Central Wildcats would have a ways to go to get their first win of the season. 0-16 to this point. As for Storm Lake St. Mary's, the Panthers closing in on their first win on their own floor here in the Panther Pit. Hello, fans. Parker Webster here live from Storm Lake, Iowa for the Storm Lake St. Mary's and Woodbury Central contest here on Fuller Digital Solutions. Tonight, luau theme for the student section to our right. A nice relaxing theme as the Panthers have been able to do all but just that. Sitting now comfortable with 2 sets under their belt. This time they will give the lead early to the Wildcats though. Started off set 2 with a 5-0 lead. Then gave it all away for the Panthers to run away with it in the late stages. Hurd over the net. Scooped up. Lloyd Dumped over, not enough strength. We're tied at 1. And of course, we take a look at the up-and-coming schedule for Storm Lake St. Mary's after tonight. It's Woodbury Central. They'll go on to take on New Alfonda, 15-3 team. That'll be hosted here on their own floor. And then they'll have River Valley and then Sioux Central. And their last regular season game will be followed up with that contest against West Bend Mallard as we're closing in to that mid-October, with today giving all the October feels a comfortable 60 degrees outdoors. Keeps us nice and warm on the floor from the heat of the Panthers' offensive performance tonight as it continues with a 4-1 lead in set number 3. Through the hands of Richardson, all the heat behind the shot from the point by Glacken. She'll sub off. Passes on the hot hand to number 8, Brooke Klingensmith, who will try to work her magic from the service line. Hurd, who's been explosive with the right hand all night long, wounding up the Wildcats to have her fellow senior Green put the ball back in play and have another point fall for the Panthers. 5-2, a 2-0 set lead for the Panthers. Nice backup for the Panthers. Falling over off of Sennert's. Great additional effort. 6-2. Storm Lake. Wildcats expecting that to tee up. Hurd, who's been a menace over the front of the net. That case, Green able to be cheeky and put that just with a light touch to fall over for a Panther point. Hurd again with the heavy right hand. Rev up the engines for the Panthers as they continue that momentum shift. We'll have to find a way to do so with Katie Steffen as she talks with the Woodbury Central Wildcats on the timeout. 8-2 in set number 3. Storm Lake pulling away. Natalie Green aiming for some service aces to add to her incredible senior season campaign. Of course, coming into tonight's game with 13 of them. We'll start things out for us after the timeout for Woodbury Central here on Fuller Digital Solutions. Parker Webster reporting live from Storm Lake, Iowa. It's a 2-0 set lead for the Panthers, closing in on their first win at home for the season as the Wildcats try to find some answers to be able to get their first win of the season. Last time these two teams met was again on September 10th, with Storm Lake St. Mary's winning 2-0 in an invitational. As they're getting a lot of help from the Wildcats' self-destruction to have a comfortable 9-point lead. Wildcats will catch a break. They sub off Jenna Woodman. bring in Emma Lambert and Kaylee Utesh. Utesh scooped up by the Panthers, and Green thought she had enough on it. Gravity will say otherwise. 11-4 in set 3. Wildcats back underway. Up into the lights. Smith for Hurd. Center.
Was it locked? I think I probably locked.
Center couldn't keep it alive. 11-5 here in set number 3. Wildcats out of the timeout. Put together a nice strain of scores. But we'll need to be doing more to cover the floor as the open space is being eaten alive by the Panthers. 12-5, 2-0 lead in this ball game. The heavy right arm of Sydney Hurd will not let that get over the net. Back over to the Wildcats it goes off of the service error. And the official is going to be directing here and calling out where the improper alignment is after the signal. And the stoppage will give a point added to cut it to 5. And the senior Sydney Hurd is going to answer back with authority. 13-7 from a long strike in the middle of the floor. Back underway with Crystal Center. Bacon almost got him with the off-speed hit, and now this time with a little bit of height on it as it dipped over the heads of a couple Wildcats and in. 14-7 in set number 3, 2-0 Storm Lake St. Mary's. Skipped over for the Wildcats. Another point, 14-8. Substitution now. Paige Blacken will check in. Takes off number 8, Brooke Klingensmith. Maddie Lloyd, a service ace. Chased down by Widman. No help for her to bring it back. Ball travels out and away. 15-9. Into a wall. Pasquale and Bacon on the far side. Pasquale again into a wall. Gets over it. And Pasquale and Green will pay it off. The defense for the Panthers stays strong. 2-0 lead for the Panthers, closing in on a sweep. Green fingertips. Hurd not the direction she would like. But the force behind it, 16-10. Pasquale, a nice shot. Puts it down off of her fingertips to finish that off. She'll go back to work from the service line. 17-10 with a 2-0 Storm Lake lead. Wildcats beginning to trip over themselves. And Katie Steffen will call time for them to pick themselves up. 2-0 Storm Lakes comfortably ahead, leading by 8 in set number 3.
You may think shopping locally is more expensive, but have you ever compared prices? Oftentimes you can find just as competitive or better price points by shopping at a local store. Snooks Carpet and Furniture of Sioux Rapids has everyday competitive pricing. Shop local in the new year for all your flooring, home furnishing, furniture, and just-in modern bedroom sets from Malou.
The original Snooks Carpet and Furniture in Sioux Rapids. On your way anyway. Visit us on Facebook or at snooks1.com.
18-10, Storm Lake has been absolutely on it tonight here at home. A place where they've struggled to this point to be comfortable with. 0-4 on their home matches to this point. They've got a chance to get their first win here in the Panther Pit against the Wildcats. Back underway in set number 3. Parker Webster live from Storm Lake, Iowa for Fuller Digital Solutions. As we have the Panthers beginning the timeout break with a point for themselves, creeping up to 20, as head coach Katie Steffen is going to be questioning the umpire's judgment, thinking that there was some overreach in a net violation. Will be explained the viewpoint from the head official to the far side, and we'll be back underway. Green kept up, Hurd. Nice awareness by the Panthers. Near side, through a wall, and we'll see if they call it. They do. It is tipped off of a Storm Lake Panther and will be skipped back for a point from Caitlin Archer. Strong strike. More great awareness from the Panthers and the quick reactions paying off. So illegal block and screening is called. Goes for a Panther point, now in the 20 zone. Right into a net. After going winless last week, the Panthers aiming to grab one this week. Hurd with a heavy right hand, puts it down, leaves a crater in the floor from the strike. 22-11, 2-0 Storm Lake. Off of the light. Scooped over for Pasquale. Center. Backhands it. Wildcats tangle up with it. 23-11. The Panthers continue on. Freshman Neely Bacon back to the service line with 7 service aces on the season. Hurd just escapes that back line. Crowd reacts just aligned with it as they were about ready for this to get back up to a nice match point for the Panthers to begin making some noise for a celebration. Green tees up her fellow senior. Wildcats claw at that. Hurd fakes it for center. Chased down by Lloyd. Richardson. Green. Centered into a wall of Wildcats. Well, credit to Woodbury Central not giving up on the play. Maddie Lloyd and company shut that down. 23-13. No chance. Panthers let that one go. Try to keep themselves fresh as they just have 2 points to go. Hurd over the net. Answers back and hammers it home. Almost like a self alley-oop in basketball. As it bounces off of a Wildcat, finds the open space and launches to bury it into the floor as it goes flying into the stands. 24-14, match point. And it's over. Storm Lake St. Mary's gets their first win at home with a lot of efficiency here tonight, led by Coach Ryan Berg, in place for head coach Denny Adams, as a nice 3-0 sweep for the Panthers is what it is here. As that'll do it for us for Fuller Digital Solutions. For myself, Parker Webster, our production crew, Jonas Camp, saying so long from Storm Lake, Iowa, and congratulations to the Storm Lake St. Mary's Panthers.